To another edition of the Olympic Hockey Show, brought to you by the Purple Rain Podcast. Okay, so we have a big rule change coming in for Milan Cortina in February. Big rule change. This really should have been implemented years ago, and it really is something that should be implemented across all leagues. I don't care what level you are, I don't care what gender you are. This is really something that all hockey leagues really should be implementing, and that is the net guard situation. So I'm going to just quickly load up the yard shot on my phone, and then we can get underway. Initially, what do you two feel about this? Do you think it's a good thing? Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Are we going to refer? No. Okay. We can reference it, but obviously we can't. Oh, of course, mental health grounds. Sorry. It was an England incident. Oh, of course. Well, then, no, of course, no. GB stuff. No, we can't on mental health grounds. No. Okay. I will reference it, but I will not go to detail because obviously, mental health grounds. Yeah. Anything GB hockey is a big no. It's a trauma trigger. Right. So here we go. I've got it now. Okay, so the lady, I'd like to wait till we read the article. Okay, fine, go ahead then. So, the 2026 Milan Cortina Winter Olympics will have mandatory net guards at both the men's and women's ice hockey events. So players will wear net guards at the 2026 Winter Olympics for the first time. The International Ice Hockey Federation, with the IHF, has confirmed. The rule change, of course, follows the death of forward Adam Johnson in October 2023. As I just mentioned, it was an England team, so therefore we cannot go any further on that. I've actually not looked up what the incident was because I meant anything GB hockey is a no-go. You do not bring it up in front of me. It is a mental health trigger. Georgia has had a lot of trauma with the GB scene over several years, and in order to cope, we do not bring it up. You cannot mention any British team. It's just a no-go. You do not mention anything to do with GB hockey for George. It's just no. It's just a no. You don't go there. Yeah. People deal with their mental health situations in their own ways, and for me, it's to make sure you do not mention anything that could cause a trigger. Yeah, that's what it is. That was in October 2023, it's just 2 years ago now. The IHF actually did announce in December that year that net guards would become mandatory in all their competitions. However, a date that the rule would be introduced was not announced. Is it still not announced? No. It's still not announced? No. So they said they're going to do this, but they still have not confirmed when they're going to do it. Where's the next World Championships for us? This November next year. In Denmark. So there could be time for it. Yeah. Could be. Yeah. The net guards will be mandatory according to the IHF rulebook. Net guards have previously been optional in Olympic competition, while other competitions around the world they are not required. While the guards are compulsory at youth international level, having to wear the guards will be a new experience at elite level for some of the world's best players. The AHL is also going to make net guards mandatory for new players entering the competition for the 2026-27 season onwards. However, those who already play in the league will not need to wear the protective equipment. Is that actually the rule? Yeah, to the CBA. What? So if you enter the league next year for the first time, you have to wear them. If you already are on a contract, you don't have to wear them. Are you taking the piss? I don't know. I should ask the Eastern Conference members about this, how they feel about it, because they understand the CBA more than we do. It's like, it should be mandatory all players or nobody or no players. That should be the rule. Don't do it half and half. It's like my high school introducing clip-on ties. Remember this? Remember clip-on ties for the newer years, but not. Yeah, right. Alright. Okay, so George was in year 7 in 2009-10. Yeah. And at the end of that year, the school, his high school, announced a change that going forward, all new pupils would have to wear clip-on ties. But current students wouldn't need to do it. And it just felt so confusing. I mean, clip-on ties, I actually have tried one on. Yeah. Because I wanted to work out, could I or could I not. And the clip-on ties, they are so, A, they're so thin to put on, and B, they're so easy to fall off. So did you switch back to a normal tie? I just switched back to a normal tie because it was just like kept falling off. Now some people have a go at me for wearing the clip-on tie. I'm like, I'm in school uniform! Yeah, fuck off! Didn't actually say that, but I thought it. Yeah, so seriously, I'm come on with a tie. Yeah. Yeah, so I don't know. Yeah. So what do we make of this? For the let's just stick to the Olympic side. We want to talk PHL from coming from. Yeah. Okay, so I will now start go. Okay, so I think for Olympic culture this is really important, and we all know how dangerous our sport is. It's a high contact sport. It's very dangerous, especially if a high sticking happens. Yeah, high stick happens. It can be so easy. Can I just spoil you, George? Go on. Turn your head. Right. It's also wearing a jumper. Right. You want to try and reach my neck? There you go. Right. There you go. Right. It's so easy to for the stick to make contact with the throat. Right. Now, chances are it might not slip yet, but it could. But it could. Isn't that what actually happened? No. It was a skate blade. Run me through very quickly what did happen. It was a freak accident, and he got hit with a skate blade. Yeah, it slit his throat, and he did die. Oh, and now stick it. Oh no, that's you just. But no, just it. Yeah, that's what happened. Yeah, but a stick could easily do it as well. Of course, if you were to go full throttle. Yeah. Because obviously we never had a high stick happen to any of us, so we don't know what it's like. But for players, it probably would hurt. And we do know that blood can be drawn. Yeah, because especially if they go actually for the mouth, which sometimes does happen, then you can easily draw blood from the mouth. And of course, that's then what instigates the 4-minute penalty rather than standard 2-minute penalty. Yeah. So it is actually possible for the stick, if you want to actually go for someone's throat. It easily can, and it's not pretty. And of course, we all know that is an instant life-ending injury. Yeah, right there. Yeah, so it can easily happen. So I think it's really important to have this, because we know the Olympics is fast, it's contact. You've got best to best. So you do not want to take any unnecessary risks going into. And it should have been something already happened for years and years. I don't get why now. No. Why has it taken until 2026? So more than 2,000 years on since Christ. Yeah. Since that, more than that. Why has it taken until now? No, when this should have already been put in place. Yeah, I agree. And I think it's something that all sports leagues need to put in place. All hockey leagues, no matter what country you are, what level you are, or what gender you are, you've got to make sure that your players are safe. Yes, we know injuries do happen, but we do not want them to be basically life-ending, as was this case in 2023. We do not want to be in that situation where we actually have a player actually die because of the sport he played or she played. So, it's not nice. It's very rare that sort of thing happens, but when it does happen, you have to then raise the question of why was this not introduced? And this was England. Well, that begs the question. If they already had a rule for that, then that player would still be alive. It's a bit Jaws-like. If the beats have been closed beforehand, that poor little kid wouldn't have died. But then again, it's his mother's own damn fault, because she initially didn't want him to go back to the water, but he was insisting, so she just caved. So, but I do think it's one of those instances where, well, if this had already been put in place, that wouldn't have happened. He would have been alive. So, I feel like there should be no excuses, and I feel like this should be made mandatory. So, Commissioner Bettman, go and look at the CBA again and just tweak it. Because I'm sorry, you cannot have it be com-si-com-sa in the NHL next year. You cannot be half and half. It has to be either all players or no players wear this. And let's see what happens then. Would we recommend the PHL making it mandatory for all? Well, there's a case for the case against with that. Right. Because you could argue something and think, are we basically protecting them? And they're not be on the ice themselves. Yeah. So all the misogynists were just far out. But, safety first, kids. Safety first. Yes, you can easily fall and tumble on the ice, but that's all we really want you to do. No further than that. Do I think, to come to ask a question, I think, let's see what happens after Milan Cortina, and then I think the PHL should evaluate whether or not for 26-27 to make it mandatory for all players. Because we know the PHL always likes to bring in new rules. We pretty much had new rules be brought in every single season so far. So I could easily see it wouldn't be a problem to try and make this a mandatory thing this time next year if the league felt it was necessary and if it worked well in Milan. Because that's going to be when you get the figure sport. If it goes well in Milan, then you can look at maybe we've never seen a net basketball, have we? I don't think so. I have seen players in the NHL wear full-on masks to protect, like Joe Pavelski did. He did when he came back from his assassination attempt. You can't call it that. I think I fucking can. Vegas tried to kill Joe Pavelski in 2019. Well, to be fair, you are Arsenal rather, so you've not got any fear of them coming for you. They tried to kill him! I'm sorry, I do not care, Vegas, alright? If the shoe was on the... If it was the other way around, and Joe Pavelski did what happened to him to a Vegas player, do you think the Golden Ice Bars would take that lying down, just settle for a 2-minute penalty? No! They'd be after his head with a stick! So don't come to me saying that the Sharks should not have 5-minute penalty. He was bleeding! He had to be carried off by, I think it was Joe Ford, I can't remember who the other one was, but it was at least two players had to carry him off. He was absolutely bleeding. He was out for almost the entire of the Colorado series. And we didn't know when he was going to come back. And at the time, we didn't know that was going to be his last year as a Shark. So I'm sorry, no. God, nice fans, if you're still banging on about that, you can fuck off. Seriously, you can fuck off. 'Cause I'm not putting up with it. I am not putting up with that. I won that game fair and square. Alright? Okay, so I'm not putting up with that. I really am not. This is what, 6 years now, nearly 7 years now. I'm not having it. Right. I am not having it. Okay, so Vegas, fuck off. I won that game fair and square. You tried to kill my captain. End of. Didn't the Stanley Fires didn't want Boston's players wear a full-on helmet? Yes, I can't remember what it was. Right, just trying to look up some images so we can have a look for ourselves what these are. So yeah, because I'm not sure we ever have seen the. Why is it not letting me? Oh, there we go. Right, so that is what it's supposed to be. Okay. Okay, so you basically would wear those like a digital thing to helmet, yeah. You also get from Bauer, who of course are the official powers to the PHL, so that will be no problems there. If we did want to make it a mandatory thing in our league. Yeah. There you go. Right. So they don't look that bad. Yeah. But I don't feel they have. We've seen players wear, as we have seen players wear helmets with a full protection cage, but I'm not sure that's an official neck guard or not. Yeah, because it was basically they just wore their helmet and there was like this cage put to cover their mouth. Yeah, because obviously you do not, because it's the high said you do not want someone to then get you in the face with a puck. Yeah. No. So I've got no problem with, because I know there's some people who'll be like, I don't like that. I've got no problem with the neck guard being a mandatory thing. Yeah. I've got no problem with that. Yeah. I have zero problems. I think it would be fine. Yeah. And I think that it's something that we should look into consideration for the league, the PHL to say, this time next year. We know the NHL is going to be doing its flimsy stuff, and all that. But at the end of the day, we have to make sure safety is number one priority. Yeah. And I feel like this is something that should have been done years ago. Yeah. It's something that should have been, yeah, because we all know how high contact these sports are. Yeah. We know how intense they are. Yeah. And you know, anything can happen. I mean, we see it plenty of times in the winter games that athletes do take tumbles and stumbles. Yeah. Mainly in the figure skating events. Well, because they go for these really high intense routines. Because they are pushing to win a gold medal. If you want to get a gold medal, you have to literally push yourself. And that, yeah, but how many times have we seen in those events athletes stumble because they went too? Yeah, well, that's just the way it works. Yeah. Yeah, but in figure skating, it's just you or your partner, because depending on what, or your team, because obviously you've got also pairs as well as solo skating events. Yeah, but with this, you're in a team with a group of players. You've got, and it's all intense, and it's all fast paced. We've got to make sure safety is paramount, and it should have been something done years ago. Yeah, and then maybe that death wouldn't have happened. Yeah, because I don't want to sound disrespectful, but this move, this rule change, it kind of to me feels like it's been done in the way I was exactly going to say the exact same thing, lady. I was going to say the exact same thing. Yeah, it's one of those situations where it feels like, okay, so tragedies happened. We need to now look at how can we prevent that in the future and implement it. But I'm sorry, if you had net guards already in place, then this poor man wouldn't have lost his life in 2023 over something that's so small. Because I mean, I do not even want to picture how that happened. I don't even want to picture what it was like being there when it happened. Yeah, but just like, but no, I agree, lady. It's one of the. This feels like the response is because of something that's happened, not because we feel it needs to be. This change needs to be made. Yeah, but I mean, I bet you we could literally look at the sport, our sport of hockey, and go, okay, why hasn't that been implemented? There's so many things we could probably look at and go, why was this not implemented? Well, that implemented. There's loads. We could list them all. Yeah, but this one kind of feels huge because this is something that involves player safety, which should have always been the paramount responsibility of any organisation. Any governing body, the one paramount thing you need to have is safety for players. Yes, there will be injuries from time to time, but you do not want to be in a situation where you have somebody's life get taken because all the measures were not put in place to ensure that these players could be protected as they possibly could. Yeah. That is what I'm getting at. Yeah. So this rule change, it needs to be implemented because we feel it's the right thing for the sport, not because we're reacting to a tragedy that happened more than 2 years ago now. So it's like, because I bet you there'll be some people who are going, well, if we already had this in place, that man would not have lost his life. Yeah, there will be some people who say that. And what if I bet you will scream that if the BBC reference it next year, because obviously, here in the UK we have the BBC covers our coverage. I bet you if they show the hockey men's tournament and the commentators reference it, you're probably going to scream, well, that should have been put in the first place. Yep. Yeah, but we're not really going to be focused on the men's tournament, are we? Oh no, of course we're not. No, see me. No, and we never have Pluto. Of course, I forget. So much has happened now, hasn't it, since the last games. You're like, I can't keep track. No, when it comes to hockey and Olympics, we've always focused on the women's game because obviously before the PHL, that was the only time we could get to watch women's hockey. And the men's tour was like, well, if we've got some spare time, we'll put it on, but not really that fast because we can pretty much get that anytime, any place, to be honest. Yeah, that's pretty much going to be the reaction I'll have this time next when we get to the Olympics in my Cortina. Yeah. Even though there's a high chance that I might have somebody who I want to see win a gold medal for the men. What? On your team or just in general? Well, both. Because I was about to say, but you've already talked about Carl McDavid. Yeah, but now I'm talking about Matt. Of course! Yeah. I'm sorry, if they're looking at Colin Bedard, then they have to look at Sarah Breeding. I'm sorry, Sarah Breeding is better than Bedard. I've said it, okay? So if you go look at Bedard, get a spot on Team Canada, you should definitely be getting one Sarah Breeding. That's what I'm going to say. It's a package deal there. One, if you're not having one, you're not having the other. That's one thing like that. Yeah. Do we have any idea when the women's rosters will be taking shape? Because the men's, it's literally all they're talking about right now. No, it's not really. No, that probably be, because we still got the Canadian leg of the rivalry to do. Yes. Maybe sometime after that, maybe? Okay. We'll keep an eye out. Because of course when we do get that, for all the teams, we will be back to go for our roster, breakdown, of all those players. Now, of course, we'll be doing also breakdowns for each team, but in the PHL, so like to say how many players each is representing each PHL team. Yeah, like how we get that breakdown for the World Championships. Yeah, that's what I'm doing for the but back to this because I think we pretty much got all we want to say on this. Yeah, I mean we could easily just go round and round in circles. Yeah, but I think we've covered the bulk of it here. Yeah, there's not really much more we can say on this. I mean, this because we haven't got that experience. No. We us three don't have that experience of seeing a game where the net guards come into place. No. So, this is going to be a huge deal in Milan. Yeah. Because if this can work out well, then maybe we go to what you were saying about pushing it. I could easily see the PHR saying, right, it went down well in Milan. Let's now look at it and make this compulsory for the PHL, and because I think it would be good. I think it'd be a good rule initiative to have, and it would show that we're taking our players' welfare more seriously than the AHL is. Because, I'm sorry, that rule. I can't believe what you two just said about the CBA. I mean, I'm sorry. It's not it's not a school uniform situation here we're dealing with. This is like player safety, which should be the #1 goal in your sport, is to make sure your athletes are safe. Yeah. So it should be every player wears a neck guard, or no player wears a neck guard. That's what it should be in the CBA. Why are we doing the Common C comes on? Oh god, that CBA is so flawed. It's only 4 years. Which means it will fly by. When it kickstarts next year's CBA. So if you're looking at the same time that we need to renegotiate ours, the actual do this. Yeah, but I think we don't problem. The actual is just completely just. They rushed the CBA. There was no need to. You had another year to go. Yeah. Well, the current CBA was due to run out in the NHL by the end of this season. Yeah. But they still had a year to go. They could easily have still been doing negotiations right now, and then come up with something like, say, March, April, 2026, and then you get it ready. Yeah. But the NHL just rushed getting that CBA finished, and for what reason? Because there's so many flaws in it. Not just the fact we've got to have 2 more games this year. I don't want to watch any more games. I can't handle it! No! An 82 game schedule is too much for me! No! I don't want 84! I do not want 84 games, no. Why not just do what the AHL does and play 72? That's manageable. But again, we do have an expanded Cold Cup playoffs, so it makes up for it. But no! It's just not right. They're playing 84, we only have 30. I know. Yeah, so I'm really excited to see how this goes. And I'll be interested to see if we get any data after the games on how the net guards went down from players, both men and women. Yeah. Because this is going to be like a test drive for what we could see in the future one day at a permanent level and mandatory, compulsory, no ifs, no buts, you're putting that on. Yeah. So I'm going to be really cool to see what results we get after that. Yeah. Because it could make some interesting findings. But at the end of the day, player safety needs to be paramount, and I have absolutely no problem with the net guards. Yeah. It's just, I can't shake the feeling of that we're only doing this because somebody lost their lives because a governing body did not think of all the possibilities that could happen when the player's out on the ice. That for me is what I can't shake the feeling. And that's wrong. That's wrong. That is wrong, because a man lost his life, a family's has lost a relative. Yeah. So, it's just, that's wrong. Yeah. This should have been implemented years ago. Yeah. Years ago, this should have been implemented because it helps keep players safe. It already should have been there. And this tragedy could have been avoided. Yeah. So, and I can't shake the feeling the IHL is implementing this as a result of that tragedy. I can't shake that feeling. And that's wrong. Yeah. You should be bringing this change in because you think it's going to be good for the sport, not because somebody died because of incompetence. Yeah. Yeah, you have to think of every possibility in the sport of what could happen when the players go out on the ice. Yeah, because it all moves fast. Yeah, especially how in our league you're not allowed to have the puck frozen at the boards. No, because it stops the third game. Yeah. So this should have been done years ago, but I'm looking to see how it was done. Then maybe when we have to see how it was done, maybe we could then come back and make the case should it be in the PHL. Yeah, I'd love to that. 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 Yeah. Yeah, so that was a huge recent development. Really glad to hear that. It's quite quiet right now in terms of preparations for Milan. Obviously, we've got Gary Batman still mamming off. Carolina's not ready. This ice is not good. I'm like, Gary, fuck off. He's still mouthing off. No, I don't think the ready. Ice is not good. I don't want the place to go. And I'm like, Gary, shut the fuck up. And my Brody Brazil's got bold. He did a bit on it, which I had no problem because he then kept suggesting maybe look at playing the games elsewhere. No! No! Brody, I love you, mate, but that is off the cards. That is off the cards. We're in November, my friend. Probably December by the time this episode gets published. Okay? The games are going to happen in Milan Cortina one way or another, alright? It's too late for that now. Even my dear friend is now getting involved in this. But man, literally, it's like, fuck off, Gary Bettman. Fuck off. Literally, fuck off. If only the PHL had a bigger schedule, you could be so easy done with the NHL. I know, right? It will happen eventually, my friend. One day it will happen eventually. So make the most of me being involved with the NHL while you still can, because it's going to happen eventually. Yeah. So we've had that. We're also getting teams releasing jerseys left, right, and centre. We're going to wait till all 10 teams release theirs before we do a video on that. Because obviously it's not all saying 10 teams in both tournaments. So that. The rosters. So we are going to... So it kind of feels slow right now, but we are about to get PHL hockey back on the way. So... But as always, we'll be here every step of the way between now and the end of March to cover the Milan Cortina Olympics. But do you reckon unless there's any other major news, the next time we'll be back will be rosters? Probably. Probably. Yeah, probably. Yeah, so... Yeah, but I'm really glad this rule change is now being implemented. It's just I am not happy that it is the result of a tragedy rather than we think it's going to be good for the game.